Hey everybody, welcome. This is my transformation video for Metagate G07 Black Lightning, also known as Drift from the Last Night live action movie. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. First thing, we're going to pop the hood open. We're going to flip this center panel down, and you're going to rotate it all the way 180 degrees until it sits nice and flat. Then fold these wings down and in on both sides, so they're sitting like that. Next, we'll go ahead and do the tailgate here. Just pull outward on these pieces, because these are little hook tabs. They're like 90 degrees and they sit on top of this. So just gently pull out as you pull up. You have a slot and a tab. Go ahead and secure that. Then these small pieces, flip them in, slide them up, and flip them 180 over. There we go. Next, these sail panels, pull them out slightly to disengage the tabs on the roof, and then bring the roof up. And then do the same thing down here. You can already see that tab sticking out. Pull out slightly on both sides. Pull this entire assembly up. It's on a double hinge. Go ahead and fold these sides of the windshields out. They are also on a double hinge. All right. And then rotate it back so the hood can fold over all the way until it stops. Then lift up on the spoiler and bring this all the way over so it's sitting like that. Slide the spoiler down and it should sit over the hood. Bring the window pieces up just to cover that gap for now. We'll adjust them later when we're ready to pack it into the robot. But now you should have all of that sitting pretty much like that. And then lift up on this panel, and you can see two tabs going into two slots. And just secure that. And with the spoiler in the right position, it should also fit neatly into that little square cutout. All right, there's the whole top of the car. Now go ahead and open up the doors if you haven't already. Go ahead, these two pieces here, rotate out and untab them because they have a tab and slot in there. Go ahead and push the headlights in so you have clearance to rotate this black piece of the fender 180 around and then roll it in. It should fit neatly in that little cavity. There we go. You can go ahead and move the headlights back out for now. Those you'll see later. It doesn't really matter what we do with them. We'll go ahead and lift up on the front bumper and split it inwards. Rotate. So there we go. And we'll go ahead, we'll go ahead and move those down in a little bit when we have a little more clearance. Next up, the back. Two tabs and slots to split. And then you have the feet tabbing into the elbows. So one at a time. While you're holding the arm, bring the foot in. And then you can see we've got a hinge here and then a double hinge here. So bring that out. Now you can untab this one. And then you can rotate it all up. If you didn't like doing that, all right, once you untab it from the elbow, you can use the rotation here. It's like a mushroom peg. And, well, it's a screw, but it's the same kind of movement. And you can just use that and literally rotate the foot out from underneath it if you feel more comfortable doing that, right? You've got two options. If you didn't do it that way, I mean, if you did it this way for the first one, now you're going to rotate it so that it's sitting like that. Lift up on that so this whole pad is flat, and then rotate it around, and then I'm going to leave it like that for now. And again, here we go. Clear the pad and fold it around, and then there we go. I'm going to leave them like that for now. We'll come back to those. Now we're going to split the body for the legs. So you have this sail panel here. You have a tab and slot going up and down here, forward and back here, and it also tabs into the side of the arms. So I'm going to take the sail panel, I'm going to move up and in for the body here, which I'm only holding the thin piece that, you know, the wheel and the inner part of the leg, this portion, I'm going to pull out and down. And you also have a double hinge here and a hinge back here, so you can work things and crumple things as you need to, and then move this sail panel. If it's still sitting flush, just angle it out a little bit so you have some clearance to work with. But overall, this shouldn't be difficult. Very easy. And then it'll untab from the elbow, it'll untab from the thigh as well while you're doing that. Same thing over here. There we go. Okay, now we'll go ahead and bring the hip joints outward a couple clicks. We'll go ahead and fold this down just to get it out of the way. Okay, so it's sitting like that. Like I say, you do put the headlights however you want. I'm just going to leave them like that. That's how they are in car mode. And you can see it still compacts up. You can barely see the clear lens parts. Looks good. So, tab and slot for the knees. All right. Now, a couple things. We're going to rotate this 180, and I'm going to do it now just to get it out of the way. I'm going to do that on both sides. All right, so we'll work on this leg first. This is where the windshield had tabbed into the side. We're going to rotate that 180. Okay, it's just on a little pin. Then the door, it's got double hinges, the window folds in. So is what we want to do. We're going to end up with the painted part of the door flush with the body, pretty close, but the window is going to be folded over here. So you're going to fold the window down, slide it forward, and then get it into this cavity. And you've got the two hinges to work with and different joints you can move to get things out of your way. It shouldn't take any kind of force. So if it doesn't want to move, something's in your way, stop, take a look, see what you got going on. Like right now, something is in the way, and there it is. This double hinge, it wasn't letting the rest of the body get out of the way of the back of the door. So there we go. And now I'm going to rotate it in. And as I rotate it in, I want to make sure this is folded over and that this is still out in case it moved, because this tab is going to go into this slot. Then this should pretty much line up with this. You just have to angle it outward to make sure it clears the tire. And you've got a tab here by the back of the window that's going into this slot, and the window is going to have to fit right here in this small cavity. The window might try getting in your way of that tab and slot. So as you fold it up, there you go. That window is sitting perfectly where it needs to be. And then get that tabbed in. That is lined up, tab that in. Rotate this 180, and then again, slot, tab, get that secured. Now you can go ahead and bring the red piece of the foot up. Bring this in 90 degrees. And bring this down on a double hinge. And that is one leg complete. All right, we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to fold window over, slide forward. I'm going to work this double hinge back here so it's not in my way this time. Use double hinges for the doors as you need to. There it is. Okay, that's in. The little divot in the window is lined up with that little mound for the screw hole for that piece. All right, make sure that this is rotated. There we go. Make sure this is rotated as well as that. And then bring it all around and get that silver piece out of the way. See, right there is hitting the tire and it wasn't going to compress. There we go. Is it lined up with this? For me, the left leg has not completely been happy with this silver piece, so it got to massage it a little bit. Let me rotate this around. Usually locking this in helps it. No. Okay, rotate that 90. Bring your foot up. Bring the thigh pad down. Okay, there we go. I got that silver piece. It almost feels like something's just barely in the way of it. But it's good now. All right, there's that. And if you want, if you don't like the side view mirrors sticking out, you can just carefully rotate them in. And they will fit right into that little nook. I'll leave them like that for now. All right. Moving up just a little bit here for the upper body. We're in the home stretch. So belt buckle, rotate at 90 degrees. You want the flat part facing upwards. Hold the back, hold the front, slide the front forward. All right, you want that sitting inside. Now, the arms, lift up at the elbows, just so you can push the head all the way forward and then bring the shoulders out. Make sure that head is all the way forward. Make sure these are down at their stops. And go ahead and fold this whole bit inside. You've got tabs on the back of the collars going into the slots right here and here. Just be careful with them. I have heard at least one report of somebody breaking it. I'm going to fold these window pieces down a little bit so they clear, just to be on the safe side. And the ab crunch will not help you because this all moves together with the ab crunch. So just bring it in. See how those tab in. Now make sure the windows are flush with the side of the body. And that's that. Now you can bring the back area up. It does not tab in. It has this tab for this little cavity here. So it's kind of a tab and slot. It's just not incredibly secure. So I mean, it'll stay up there. But you can see it doesn't take anything to untab it. So bring the head back. This is tabbed in at 3 different points. Untab it. Bring the upper elbow joint in so you can rotate the black piece of the body all the way over. Just like that. And then fold this over it. Bring that down. Bring the hand up. That's one. Again, upper hinge, disconnect that, rotate that all the way, fold that down, bring that down. Close this panel up. It may have closed by itself just as you're moving things around. This one did. Here it is. It's got that panel. If it didn't already close itself up, go ahead and close it. And then flare out the sides of the helmet, bring the head crest forward, and that is it. You attach those right up here. See what I mean? This doesn't really sit. Like, it goes up there, but it's going to flop a little. But there you go. There he is in his robot mode. And now we'll go back to alt mode. So pop those off, fold down the head crest, and fold in the sides of the helmet. And we'll bring that forward for now. Bring that down. Arms. You want to bring them up. Bring up the armor piece and rotate this back 180. Sometimes the pegs for vehicle mode will get caught on the elbow pad, so you may have to flex something. Now going back to vehicle mode, you've got to watch these tabs. You've got a tab here for a slot, tab here for a slot, and then a tab here for a slot. So you want to get all three of those lined up, otherwise this is not going to be locked properly for vehicle mode. And it may just take a little bit of massaging. This one, if it's not lining up, just rotate this piece. This one, if it's not lining up, it might be a rotate or an up or down movement, right? Because it's on the ball of the shoulder. But, so there's that. And then you can just leave it there for right this second. Do the same on the other side. And this is going to make a difference when you go to vehicle mode as well. If you don't have all of these tabs lined up, this pad isn't going to sit exactly right, and it's going to interfere with the body panels a little bit. Just the smallest amount. There we go. So you can see pretty flush on both sides. Sits pretty flush with the silver part here. Again, on both sides. All right. Now we're going to untab the back of the collar here and bring out the whole center. And then we're going to bring these back and in. And like I said, see, now they're completely locked because of all of those tabs. So you get no movement out of the upper arms. All you get is this movement, which we're about to kind of seal up. So now take your hands, bring them backwards, and then fold them over with the thumb sticking out. Do that on both. Over, over, thumb sticking out. So this is how we have the hands. Show you a couple different angles here because, again, this is going to get in the way of transformation. Okay. Bring these panels for the forearms out on both sides. And then at the elbow joint, oops, sorry, let's get the head in there. Bring the head down, as far down and as back as it will go. And then bring the two arms down at the elbow joints. And as far as the head, I mean, you can give it a little bit of an angle to one side. You can just have it sitting there. It's going to fit. It's going to be a very tight fit. and you do have some wiggle room for it if you need it. All right. I haven't found like a right or a wrong way to get the head in here. As long as those three pieces of the head are collapsed, you've got these arm panels up because they're going to kind of get in the way. I think originally the head was in and it was like off to the side a little, but biggest thing is just that it's in the cavity with these pieces up and the arms locked in. All right. If you have it something like that, you should be good. So now, hang on to this, push the chest back on that slider, and you can rotate this. I just rotate it 90 to the left because that's how it was in the instructions. Bring that just a little bit out of the way. We're going to undo all of the legs. First of all, if you did move the side view mirrors, go ahead and move those out just so they're out of the way. All right, if you didn't, then you don't need to worry about that. And now we're going to rotate this up 90 degrees, untab the silver piece, bring the foot down a little bit, untab this, and go ahead and untab and stretch out the leg. Bring your thigh guard up. And let's do the same on both legs before we continue. 90 degrees, untab, untab, thigh guard up, and foot out to get it out of the way, and untab everything. There we go. So all we did was just explode the legs right back out. Okay, we'll go ahead and do this side first. This is what, the left side of the car, which is the right side, the right leg. So we're going to rotate this up. We're going to bring the window out. So remember, it's on the double hinge. And this other panel back here may be in the way. So just manipulate it as need be. Rotate this sail panel 180 degrees. Rotate this 180. And that should be pretty much it. It's okay to leave this here for now. Cool. Let's go ahead and do the other side. So, and this double hinge back here right before the window, if you leave it straight and then you angle it at this back piece, it will give you the smallest bit more clearance for getting this door and window out. So I know I did it differently on the other side, but I would really recommend doing it this way because you see how much easier it was this time than it was the other time. And it's not like it was that difficult the other time either, but still. If you can make something even the littlest bit easier, why not? Rotate that, and there you go. So now, before we close up the legs, we're going to go ahead and just lift this out while we have the clearance. And you can just leave the bumper sitting like that for now. Now you can close up the legs, bring out the outward knee motions. Now we're going to close up the body, and there's a bunch of different tabs and slots we're looking for. So the side of the thighs has a tab, goes into this slot. The side of the arms have a tab that go into this slot, and it's the exact same on both sides. You want to make sure that your hip joints are straight, okay, because you want all of this straight. These two tabs that we're going to be joining should be roughly on the same plane and roughly parallel to each other. Then you have this double jointed knee joint. I like to make sure that it's all the way down at the, the bottom joint. And then the upper joint, you can now move it up and down as you need to get things to line up. Keep the doors open so they're out of your way. And that's really it. Other than that, let's go ahead and join it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on this back piece first. All right. So you want to bring it bring the tail light underneath the gloss black part of the fender, and then you want to bring that fender over this piece of plastic that's right above the wheel. And you've got the tab going up and down here, tab going up and down here, and then you've got the arm tab in there that I showed you as well. And you want to get all three lined up. And it's easier if you get those two lined up, rotate the sail panel so it's flush, and then you can come back in here and make sure your arm gets tabbed in. And there it is. Then make sure your thigh gets tabbed in. There's that. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's in. It's a very loose connection, but it is lined up. The silver part, you can see how it just sits right there. You can go ahead and tab in with a tab in slot this piece of the front fender. You don't need to worry about rotating that piece with the gold shocks on it yet. You can hold off on that. So that's the left side of the car mostly done. Let's repeat for the right side. And again, same thing. I'm going to get this piece set up first. Make sure that, there we go, the arm gets lined up. Sail panel sits flush. Those are tabbed in. Arm is tabbed in as well. And now we'll get the thigh. And there we go. That is that. And you can see, like I said, the head, it's just going to be in there. It's going to be weird. The hands, the way that we folded them up, the thumbs have room. The hands are folded up neat and tight, so they're not in the way of anything. Those arm panels that we untabbed from the forearms are just sitting there. And that is pretty much it. If you have any twist in the front end, remember it's the whole hip area, so you just kind of make sure those are roughly level. All right. Let's get the front bumper. Let me adjust my camera real quick. Okay, so rotate these so the grill lines up. And now you're going to rotate these pieces out. And if they don't, like right here, they're stopping, they're hitting, just give the pieces with the headlights a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a rotate. You'll find that sweet spot. And then the lower lip will push right past it and line up. If you angle it up a little bit, that generally seems to be the best place that I've found. And you see the grill lines up, and the whole front splitter lines up, and then you just bring it down. And these silver knee pieces should go just underneath. There we go. So you can see how that all sits nice and tightly. Okay, so there's that. Go ahead and push the headlights in so you have some clearance. There we go. Rotate these out, and then rotate the black pieces around 180. And then bring the headlights back out. Oops, I might have gone too far for this headlight. There we go. And right this second, we're just going to make sure that we got the whole front end lining up appropriately, because if we don't, it could mean that something is not tabbed in the way it's supposed to, and we want to fix that now before we go any further, if that's the case. So these black pieces are rotated out all the way. I'll go ahead and fold this, tab that piece in because I didn't do it on that side. Okay, so here's what we got. Those pieces are tabbed in. The pieces with the copper shocks, if you didn't accidentally rotate them in like I did, you can do that now. You've got this piece lined up behind the headlights. The headlight is sitting pretty good in there. Everything seems to line up pretty good. Front splitter's done, grill's done, so there's the front of the car. Now we're going to do the back. So the feet, bring them out on that double joint, and then you see this joint here, bring them all the way down so the red portion is sitting like that, and then keep the red portion still and rotate only this part, the toes, around 180. That is what it should look like. The black plastic piece should fit perfectly inside there. And now here's what we're going to do. We're going to rotate it into the back of the car and tab the car together. So you have a tab here on each elbow that's going to correspond with this slot. Whoops, sorry, there you go, this slot. All right. You've got different ways of doing it because you have this in and out at the bumper, then you have the double joint, and you have the rotation joint. So what they want you to do is rotate, use the double joint to hinge everything in, tab it into the elbow, and then completely close up the rear bumper. They want you to do that for both of them pretty much simultaneously, and I'm going to show you that. Which, doing it the way they want you to, yes, it's possible to scratch the paint, but it's not a guarantee. Because now you see they're touching each other, and I still got to get these elbow tabs lined up. So there we go, now they're lined up, and now I can bring the back of the car together. Which is a nice snug fit, the bumper is. But then you look at the feet, and yeah, they are contacting a little bit. Whoops, I didn't really mean to do that yet. There, okay. There we go. So that's how they're fitting. That's how they want it to be. I mean, it's secure, and they fit in there, and everything's going to tab in together. But you do have the red on red contact. In fact, right now, there we go. Okay. So now, what we're going to do here, bring this down, slide the spoiler up, bring it, just explode it all, bring the hood around. You can go ahead and completely unfold the hood now if you want, or you can wait. The windows, get those about where they need to be. So extend the double joints, flatten them out, because they are part of the windshield. You want to bring it down and get those tabs and slots in the side of the fenders there. So do that. There we go. You can go ahead and close up the hood. We'll go ahead and do that now. Never mind, it doesn't want to cooperate. Just untabbed a part of itself. There we go. Okay, and bring this back, untab the hatch, tab it into these sail panels. There's one, there's two. So you can see, tabbed in there, tabbed in there. That's what's going to lock it all. Then bring these pieces out and down. So they're sitting like that. Bring the whole piece, the whole hatch down, and get it locked in under these tabs. There it is. You can see, well, you can kind of see it. There we go, that's a little better. Bring the spoiler down. And now, all we got to do, close up the doors. So what I like to do is I'll fold the double hinges in, and I'll kind of bring the doors up a little and then slide them down. I just think that works really well. And then just gentle for the windows, because otherwise you might push them in and then you've got to pull them back out. And I'm just going to give everything a quick squeeze, make sure everything is where it needs to be. There we go. There's the bottom. There's the top. And it rolls, nothing is dragging. There you go. Okay. I hope this video helped you. That's the whole reason I make it. And if it helps even one person, then my mission is accomplished. So thank you for watching, and until next time.